Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss another topic related to quadratic equation. And that is solving quadratic equation by factoring. Ang tanong, paano nga ba natin isosolve ang quadratic equation by factoring? To start with, let us recall the definition of quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation written in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Then, you may observe now in the given equation, doon sa ating ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, the right member of the equation is 0 and the left member of the equation are arranged or is arranged in descending order. Quadratic term, first term, and then pre-term. Now, let us now proceed to the example. X squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. So this is an example of complete quadratic. Why? There is a value of a, the value of b, and the value of c. And the right member of the equation equal to 0. Now, the second example, x squared plus 5x equals 0 is also a quadratic equation, although nawawala yung value of c. The important is this equation arranged in descending order and the right member of the equation equal to 0. Then another equation, we have x squared minus 4 equals 0 is also a quadratic equation because of the quadratic term, and that is x squared. Although nawawala ang value ng b, but the right member of the equation equal to 0, so this is what we call quadratic equation in standard form. Before we proceed to the topic, let us discuss first one of the property which is very important in quadratic equation by factoring, and that is zero factor property. So what is zero factor property? If a and b are real numbers and if ab equal to 0, then a equals to 0 or b equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, from this property or zero factor property or zero product theorem, kapag daw yung dalawang factor ay equal to 0, then the first factor is also equal to 0 and the second factor equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, we're going to equate now both factor equal to 0. Now, let us now proceed to the example. X times the quantity of x plus 7 equals 0. So x is the first factor, x plus 7 is the second factor. Now, if we're going to apply now the zero factor property or zero product theorem, then it becomes now x equals 0. What do you think the second one? So x plus 7 equals 0. Now, if you're going to simplify now x equal to 0, then therefore it is also equal to 0. Then how about the second equation? The second equation is an example of linear equation. Ibig sabihin, if you're going to simplify now x plus 7 equal to 0, you're going to apply now addition or subtraction property. Or it becomes now x plus 7 minus 7 equals 0 minus 7. Or x plus 7 plus negative 7 equals 0 plus negative 7. Or simply transfer 7 to the right. And every time we transfer a term, an expression, or what we call any number to the other side of the equal sign, meaning you need to change the sign of that number. So that's why 7 become negative 7. So x plus 7 equals 0 equal to x equals negative 7. So let us now proceed to the example. The quantity of x minus 10 times the quantity of 3x minus 6 equals 0. Now x minus 10 is what we call the first factor. 3x minus 6 is the second factor. Now, if we're going to apply now the zero factor theorem or the zero factor property, so meaning we need to equate both factor equal to 0. So that's why yung x minus 10 as the first factor equate to 0, so it become now x minus 10 equal to 0. So the same yung second factor na 3x minus 6. So it become now 3x minus 6 equals 0. So both equation is an example or first degree equation o ito yung tinatawag nating linear equation. Now, how to solve now linear equation? Now, let us start from the first one, x minus 10 equals 0. Now, ang objective natin ay ma-solve natin ang value ng x, this one. But in this example, meron tayong negative 10. So, we're going to apply now addition property of equality. So, meaning, we're going to add now x minus 10 plus 10 equals 0. So, that's one. X minus 10 plus 10 equals 0 plus 10. So, add both sides by 10. So, that is addition property of equality. Now, the other one, we have now 3x minus 6. Ganun din. Now, the first objective is to remove now negative 6 dun sa left. Okay, we're going to add now both member of the equation by 6. So, it becomes now 3x minus 6 plus 6 equals 0 plus 6. Now, simplify. Now, we observe now in the left member, dito sa ating x minus 10 plus 10. So, negative 10 plus 10 becomes 0. And then 0 plus 10 equals 10. So, meaning, aside from addition property, we can also apply, for example, x minus 10, simply transfer negative 10 to the right. So, it becomes now positive 10. So, the answer now, x equals 10. Now, in equation 3x minus 6 equals 0, we apply now addition property. Negative 6 plus 6 becomes 0, and 0 plus 6 equals 6. Now, you may observe now, we have now 3x minus 6. 3x equals 6. Okay? Now, the value of a now is equal to 3, or the coefficient of x equals 3. So, meaning, we're going to make it 1, and that is by dividing each term by 3. Kaya magiging siyang 3x divided by 3 equals 6 divided by 3. And what do you think the value of x? So the answer is 2. So let us now proceed to the topic. Solving quadratic equation by factoring. Ano-ano ba yung mga dapat tandaan sa pagsusolve ng quadratic equation by factoring? Number 1, write equation in standard form. So that is the first one. Kailangan nyo munang isulat yung given equation into standard or in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. See to it that the left member of the equation was arranged or is arranged in descending order. Second degree, first degree, and then 0 degree. Now, the second one is factor the equation completely. So meaning, you're going to determine now, you're going to find out what is the possible factor of the equation so that you can apply now the zero factor property. Now, number 3, set each factor equal to 0. So that is the application of what we call the zero factor theorem. And number 4, solve each equation, of course. Now, you may observe now from the last example, dun sa zero factor theorem. After we get now the factor, apply the zero factor theorem, then the resulting equation become linear equation. And of course, you're going to follow now the what we call the rules on how to simplify linear equation, how to solve linear equation. And of course, the last one is check the solution in original equation. You need to check to see or para makita natin kung yung bang solution natin ay satisfied sa ating original equation. So let us now proceed to the example. X squared minus 3x equals 18. Now, let us apply now the first step. The first step is arrange the given equation in standard form. So meaning, we're going to arrange now this equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So the right member of the equation must be equal to 0. So it becomes now x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0. Okay? Now, look at the value of a. The value of a is equal to 1 and the value of c is negative 18. Take note, if the value of a equals 1, and the value of the last term or the value of c is negative, meaning the middle term is the difference. Now, pag pinag-add mo siya, yung dalawang factor, ang lalabas ay yung gitna. So, meaning, Pag sinabi natin difference, one is positive and one is negative. Now, you're going to think now, the possible factor of negative 18, once you add, it become negative 3. Now, pag sinabi natin factor of negative 18, understood, one is positive and one is negative. So that the product is negative 18. So what are those? 1 times negative 18. Negative 1 times 18. 2 times negative 9, negative 2 times 9, 3 times negative 6, and negative 3 times 6. Now, alin doon sa factor na yun, doon sa given factor of negative 18, na kapag pinagsama mo, the result is negative 3. Is it 1 plus negative 18, negative 1 plus 18, 2 plus negative 9, negative 2 plus 9, 3 plus negative 6, or negative 3 plus 6? What do you think? So the answer is 3 and negative 6. Why? Because 3 plus negative 6 equals negative 3. Now we're going to use now 3 and negative 6 as the factor of negative 18. So the possible factor of the first term, the first factor is x plus 3. Now what do you think? The next factor. If you're going to use now negative 6, it becomes x minus 6 equals 0. So the factor now is x plus 3 and the second factor is x minus 6. So this time, we're going to apply now the zero factor theorem. So it becomes now x plus 3 equals 0 and the other one is x minus 6 equals 0. Now, this equation is an example of linear equation, so meaning we're going to solve now this equation by using now the addition property of equality. Add the first equation by negative 3 and add the second equation by 6. So the value of x now is negative 3 and the other one is positive 6. Ganun lang kasimple yan. So we can also apply now transfer 3 to the right. So every time we transfer, you need to change. So that's why it becomes negative 3. The other one, negative 6, transfer to the right. And then it becomes positive 6. Take note, every time we transfer a number, an expression, sa kabilang side ng equation, kailangan natin magpalit ng sign. Or apply addition and subtraction property of equality. So let us now check if the solution of the equation satisfies to the original equation. Let us now use 6 and negative 3, or if x equals 6 and if x equals negative 3. Now the original equation is x squared minus 3x equals 18. Meaning, we're going to replace now the value of x. Instead of x, we're going to use now 6. If x equals 6, papalitan lahat natin ang value ng x. So it becomes now 6 squared minus 3 times 6 equals 18. So, pinalitan natin yung value ng x. Now, what is 6 raised to second power? Of course, the answer is 36. What is negative 3 times 6? So, the answer is negative 18. Then equals 18. So, it becomes 36 minus 18 equals 18. And what is 36 minus 18? So, the answer is 18 equals 18. So meaning 6 satisfy to the original equation. How about if x equals negative 3? Okay, let us now use again the original equation. So the same in the first equation, we're going to replace now the value of x. So instead of x, we're going to use now negative 3. Papalitan din natin ang lahat ng value ng x. Now it becomes negative 3 squared minus 3 times negative 3 equals 18. And what is negative 3 times negative 3? Or what is negative 3 squared? So the answer is positive 9. And what is negative 3 times negative 3? So the answer is 9 equals 18. And what is 9 plus 9? So the answer is 18 equals 18. So meaning negative 3 satisfy to the original equation. Now what is the solution of the quadratic? So the answer is 6 and negative 3 or negative 3 and 6. So let us now proceed to the next example. X times the quantity of x minus 4 equals 5. Now on this equation, you need to simplify first the left member of the equation so that you can arrange it into a standard form. Now multiply x by x minus 4. What is x times x? So the answer is x squared. What is x times negative 4? So the answer is negative 4x. So the resulting equation is x squared minus 4x equals 5. Then apply the first step in solving quadratic equation by factoring. Arrange the equation into standard form. So it becomes x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. Observe, the value of a is 1. So meaning, ang titingnan natin ay yung last term, which is negative 5. Sabi natin kanina, if the last term is negative 5 or negative number, then the middle term is the difference. If the last term is positive, then the middle term is the sum. So this time, the last term is negative, which is negative 5. You're going to think now the possible factor of negative 5 wherein the sum is negative 4. Wala naman tayong ibang factor na yon, kundi 1 and 5, or negative 1 times 5 or 1 times negative 5. So, ano ang gagamitin natin doon? So, of course, we're going to use 1 and negative 5. So, that's why the equation is, the factor of the equation is the quantity of x plus 1, and the other one is the quantity of x minus 5 equal to 0. Then, apply the zero factor theorem or zero factor property. Equate each factor equal to 0. So, that's why x plus 1 equal to 0. And the other one, x minus 5 equal to 0. Very good. And this equation is an example of linear equation. So, the same do sa mga nakaraang example. We're going to apply now addition property or subtraction property, or simply transfer the number to the right, change the sign, and that is the value of x. So, what do you think the value of x? The first one is negative 1, and the second one is 5. Okay, another equation or another example. X times the quantity of 3x plus 7 equals 6. Now, the same in the last example, you need to simplify the left member of the equation, which is x times 3x plus 7. Now, what is x times 3x? So, the answer, of course, is 3x squared. How about x times 7? So, the answer is 7x. So, the resulting equation is 3x squared plus 7x equals 6. Now, you're going to arrange now the resulting equation into standard form. So, it becomes 3x squared plus 7x minus 6 equals 0. Now, the value of a now is equal to 3, and the value of c is negative 6. Again, the last term is minus, meaning the middle term is the difference. But this time, the focus is not only on negative 6, but of course, bibigyan nyo din pansin yung value ng a, which is 3. Now, you're going to think now the possible factor of 3, wala namang iba, kundi 1 and 3. And the factor of 6, of course, we have 1 and 6, and the other one is 2 and 3. Now, you're going to think now a possible factor of 3 and 6, wherein the sum of the outer product and the inner product is positive 7x. So, in the given example, then you may observe that we're going to use now 1 and 3 for the value of x. So, this is 1 and 3. So, we have x and then 3x. Wala namang iba. Or, we are going to use now 3x and x. Now, if we're going to use now 1 and 6, hindi lalabas sa outer product and sa inner product yung 7x. So, we're going to use now 2 and 3. So, that's why it becomes now 2 and 3 or 3 and 3 and 2. Now, the last term is minus, meaning 1 is positive and 1 is negative. Now, what do you think the product of the outer product? So, we have now x times negative 2x. So, the answer is negative 2x. And how about the inner product? The inner product is 3 times 3x, so 9x. And what is the sum between 9x and negative 2x? So, the answer is 7x. So, ganun lang gagawin niya. Titingnan kung ano yung product, yung inner product, at saka yung outer product na kapag pinagsama nyo, ang lalabas ay yung middle term. Now, if the last term is minus, so 1 is positive and 1 is negative. So, the possible factor now is x plus 3 and 3x minus 2. Apply the zero factor property, equate each factor equal to 0, then x plus 3 equal to 0, and the other one is 3x minus 2 equal to 0. And katulad ng mga nauna, we're going to apply no addition or subtraction property, or simply transfer the number to the right. If you're going to transfer positive 3 to the right, so it become now negative 3. If you're going to transfer negative 2 to the right, so it become now positive 2. Let us now simplify the first one. So x equals negative 3. Or by applying addition property, add both sides by negative 3. 0 plus negative 3. So the answer is negative 3. How about the second equation? If you're going to transfer negative 2 to the right, it becomes now positive 2. But the coefficient of x is 3, so you need to divide each term by 3. So that's why the answer is 2 over 3. Now, another example. 9x squared minus 24x equals negative 16. The same, dun sa mga naunang example, you're going to arrange this equation into a standard. So it becomes 9x squared minus 24x plus 16 equals 0. Observe the value of A and the value of C. What have you observed? Very good. Both are example of perfect square. 9 is a perfect square and 16 is also a perfect square. Now the last term is positive, meaning you're going to use now the sign of the middle term. So both negative. Okay. So the perfect factor of 9, of course, we have now 3 times 3. The perfect factor of 4 is 4 times 4. And then we're going to use now the sign of the middle term, which is minus. So that's why it becomes 3x minus 4. And then 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So apply now the what we call the zero factor theorem, the zero factor property. So it becomes now 3x minus 4 equals 0. 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So almost the same. So we have now 3x minus 4 equal to 0. Okay, pareho yung dalawa. So this is what we call the linear equation. Transfer negative 4 to the right to apply addition property. Add both sides plus by 4. So it becomes negative 4 plus 4 and 0 plus 4. And the value become 3x equals 4. So the coefficient of x is 3. So you need to divide both by 3. So that's why it becomes 4 over 3. So the answer are both 4 over 3. 4 over 3. The other one is also 4 over 3. So the same. Now, after we discussed what we call the different example of equation using factoring or solving equation by factoring. So this time, I will give you now time to solve the given equation. So that's why the direction is solve each equation by factoring. I will give you now 4 equation. Okay. Equation number 1, x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Equation number 2, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. And equation number 3, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. And number 4, 2x squared plus 5x minus 7 equals 0. So what I'm going to do now is solve this equation by factoring. And I will give you now a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes to solve now equation 1 to 4. And your time start now. Okay, time's up. Let us now check your answer. Let us now proceed to equation number 1, x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So the equation is already in standard form. The value of a is 1, decide the last term is negative 3. So focus on the last term. Think of a factor of negative 3 wherein the difference is negative 2x. Okay. So the answer now is the quantity of x plus 1 times the quantity of x minus 3 equals 0. Okay. And then equate each factor equal to 0 by zero factor property. It becomes now x plus 1 equals 0. The other one is x minus 3 equals 0. So what do you think the value of x? So the value of x is negative 1 and the value of x is 3. Now, how about in number 2? What do you think the divisible factor of x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0? So you may observe the last term is positive but the value of a is 1. So meaning you're going to determine now the possible factor of 6 wherein the sum is positive 5x. Why sum? Because the last term is positive. Now the answer is the quantity of x plus 2 times the quantity of x plus 3 equals 0. Apply the zero factor theorem or zero product theorem. So it becomes now x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. So what do you think the value of x? So the answer is negative 2 and negative 3. Now how about in example number 3? 3x squared minus 4x minus 7 equals 0. Now what do you think? The possible factor. You're going to think now the factor of 3 and the factor of 7 wherein the sum of the outer and the inner product equals negative 4x. So the factor is the quantity of 3x minus 7 times the quantity of x plus 1. Apply the zero factor properties. It becomes now 3x minus 7 equal to 0 and the other one is x plus 1 equals 0. Now transfer negative 7 to the right, divide both sides by 3, so the value of x now is, what is the value? 7 over 3, and the other one is negative 1. Now how about an example in equation number 4? 2x squared plus 5x minus 7 equals 0, the value of again is 2, and the last is negative 7. So meaning the middle term is the difference between the factor of between the product of the outer and inner. So what do you think the possible factor? So the answer is the quantity of 2x plus 7 and the other one is x minus 7. Apply the zero factor properties. It become now 2x plus 7 equal to 0 and the other one is simplify 2x plus 7 equal to 0, so it become now 2x equals 7. Divide each term by 2, so it becomes 7 over 2, and the other one is x minus 1 equals 0. Simplify, so the answer is 1. Okay, so I think this exercises is enough para masabi natin sabi natin na kayo lahat ay natuto. So, hanggang dito na lang, and thank you for your watching. God bless everyone. Keep safe.